When you go to the store to buy rice, you are about to enter into a contract. When you pick up the rice and pay for it, the storekeeper, clerk, will give you a receipt. This receipt is the title to the rice. If you throw away the receipt before you leave the store and you leave the store, you could be charged with stealing since you do not have the title to the rice. You will probably begin to argue. Once you begin to argue, you are in Dishonor, and when you are in Dishonor, nothing matters except getting back in honor. Here is a biblical story example. Jesus came upon the land to teach people how to operate in commerce. His main purpose was to save us from our dishonor. Yet we persist in this dishonor by acquiring things, which we are treating as little demigods. One of the best lessons Jesus taught was by his example. On his trip to Galilee, he encountered 3 beggars, who called out and said, "Jesus, heal us." They were offering Jesus a contract. There are 4 possible ways in which to answer when one is offered a contract. A. Agree to the contract, and you are in honor. B. Remain silent, is consider insolent, and therefore you are in dishonor. C. To argue about the contract is a dishonor. That is why the courts want you to have an attorney. Attorneys argue and get you in dishonor. They are there to turn you in. D. Doing a novation is like bargaining, and it is a conditional acceptance. For example, if a merchant is selling apples for $1 each and you want an apple, but you don't want to pay $1, you may offer 50 cents. This is bartering, not dishonor, and you are remaining in honor. You have just placed the merchant in the position of having to make one of the same. 4 choices on how to answer. You will probably walk away and he will lose the sale. If he declines by arguing or remaining silent, he lost because he dishonored you. He remains in honor if he chooses D. Getting back to the lesson. The beggars offered Jesus a contract. Jesus replied, "What would you have me do?" He is now doing a novation to the contract. Before he can comply, he has to know what the contract requires. The beggars then reoffered the contract to Jesus by saying, "Make us see." He then agreed by saying, "You are healed." The beggars and Jesus were always in honor, and the contract was completed and everyone was satisfied.